be working in the future through all of us. When we see results, we are encouraged. It uplifts us to see the numbers. In Ukraine, people like to say, we are serving not because of numbers. Quantity is not as important to us. But if we look at the gospel, we will see numbers there. Just think how excited we get as we read the story about Jesus feeding 5,000 people. If we just had a simple story where Jesus just fed people, and that is it, that would be different. I can feed people. You can feed people. I really hope that I would lose some weight while I'm here in United States. But with your great lunches and suppers, it's totally hard. But we are reading that there were 5,000 men. And this is the starting point of Jesus Christ's gospel. There is a special story behind each number, a special life. The story of saving the lives of two prematurely born refugee children is very special to my heart. The price of their lives was $80 to get the significant medication for them. Our guys went through all pharmacies and could not find the needed medication. And only one teeny drugstore had just enough of that medication. And we bought it, and children were saved. At that time, we had your $80. Actually, the story of feeding the 5,000 captivates me. Jesus in this story scoffs at his disciples. In Mark 6:37, he's offering to feed all of that crowd. It is often when God is making events in our lives, gives us tasks, and then he's kind of asking us, if I'm ready to do it, what are your actions? What will you do? We're surrounded by 5,000 problems, but we haven't just enough strength and opportunities to hardly take care of one little problem. Remember, 5 breads and 2 fish to lunch just one boy. Matthew 14:18 is very important here. When we realize that we are not able to take care of so many questions and problems, we have, as always, one way out, to bring it all to Jesus. And what do we have? A prayer, faith, knowledge, even our fears. And with all of this baggage, we come and he solves it all as always. In 2015, we have a motto for our team: multiply my faith within me. In other words, multiply these breads so that we can feed hungry ones, warm up the ones who are cold, comfort the ones who suffer. The number is big, more than 5,000. There are 1 million. What can I do? What can my team do? Just simply go to Jesus with a desire to help out people and share the gospel with them, with our prayers and our little faith. And this is the beginning of Jesus Christ's gospel. Jesus has a body, his church. He has promised that through his church, he will do a lot more in the future. He has chosen you. He has chosen me. He has chosen all of us. He has chosen our hearts and our faith. Through you, he has multiplied the breads and fed tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people have heard the gospel. We're not done yet. To be continued. The war is not over yet. Winter is awaiting us. Paul writes to Timothy in 2 Timothy 4:21 and asks him to come before winter. This winter might have been the last one for Paul. He needed simple human things and, of course, support and encouragement. We are ready today to give all of this to thousands of men and women, children and elderly, simple human things and the word about Jesus. Paul emphasizes in the 9th verse, come quickly. I would like to thank you all for joining our team and during this entire time through your work. And indeed, you are allowing Jesus to multiply the breads for the people in Ukraine. Of course, we invite all of you to continue stay with our team, and some of you to join our team. And again, we have some numbers. During next year, we plan continue give people food. One set of food costs about $6 to feed one family for 1 week. We plan continue distributing warm blankets. And one blanket costs $8. We plan to distribute clothes and shoes Christians from United States donated. One box, 50, 70 pounds, cost $90 for shipping. We plan to continue going to frontline and help people there who are not able to leave the hotspots. One trip with 100 food sets, medicine, cost $1,000. We plan to open 2 new humanitarian centers. Monthly operations for each of is $600. We plan to plant new congregations because we have area where a lot of refugees who are ready to obey the gospel and who will reply to God's call. Please help Jesus multiply the breads before winter so that he will multiply the fruit for his kingdom through you. Thank you. My God bless you. And if you have questions, I'm ready to try to answer on it.
Dima, how many people total have been displaced in Ukraine as far as having to leave the war areas and try to seek refugee shelter? Not just Christians, but all people.
The All People United Nations last year, they counted 1 million people. 1 million people from Donetsk and Lugansk regions from east.
These are all Ukrainians and they're still in Ukraine. They've just moved to different places in Ukraine?
Yes. Some of them, very few of them, they went abroad, but most of them, they live in Ukraine, stay in Ukraine.
In the area that you're stationed in right now, where you've got your ministry set up, what are the numbers of refugees that are in that local area?
The most of our refugee centers, humanitarian centers, are the most refugee areas, and this is really close to the war zone because a lot of people they try to be close to their homes because they still have hope that they will come back. So all our humanitarian centers they're in areas where the most number of refugees.
How long was it before you had heard the word of God? Have you always known it, or how did that come about in your life? That you learned of God's word.
Me personal. I've got very interesting story that my parents told me. I was baptized as a baby in the Orthodox Church. This is a tradition in Ukraine, and the priest, when priest take me back to my parents, he asked me for my name, and they said his name is Dimitri, and he said them, he will be God's man. This is what he said. I was maybe 6 months old. And then in 1994, we have a huge campaign that's over 200 American missionaries came to Donetsk, and they spread the gospel and established during 2 or 3 weeks churches in each district of Donetsk, where there were baptized about 3,000 people that time. I also obeyed the gospel and was baptized. And all this time I tried to find God's way in my life through all situations in my life. And especially in 2000, I call it God's call to start working with orphans. and orphanage graduates. And before war, our Let's Love mission, we primarily work with orphanage graduates, children at risk, with these college students. But when we've been displaced and we moved from our homes, we felt that right now we feel these people. We can understand them, that a lot of these refugees are very disappointed of everybody, Ukraine, Russia. They want only one, peace, and they want to end this stressful and logical and silly war. And right now, we understand them because we're also refugees. And this is what we decided to a little bit refocus our ministry. But we also continue work with orphans, but totally focus it on these people and try to help them and spread the gospel.
Also, when did you begin to learn English?
I don't know, just probably talking with American missionaries. The whole my life I'm trying, but I'm very far from good English, but trying. Learn it.
How about the airports going into Ukraine? I read that there's trouble between Russia and Ukraine's airports.
Well, right now we don't have any connection with Russia, air connection. They totally cancel it from both sides. And our airport in Donetsk has been one of the best airports in Europe. It totally destroyed. It just filled right now there. Nothing. Yeah, I lived in Donetsk and moved from there and 1.5 years ago to Kiev. And first my family moved there, just temporary, and I left from Donetsk just for 2 weeks, having a Bible camp for children, and I totally, strongly had plans come back and help people there. But when I realized that there are no banks working, there are no transfers working, and I realized that I'm not able to help people and to coordinate, because I'm coordinated all this refugee work, and this is right now very dangerous. Live in Donetsk and try connect and have connections with Americans especially. So I decided to stay in Kiev.
Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have two girls, 6 and 3 years old, Sophie and Christina. They already start missing me. Yes. We have about it's difficult to tell the exact numbers because we've got some donations from individuals, from maybe some organizations, but maybe 3-4 congregations they constantly try to help us. And of course, I want to share my appreciation to your church, because last year you made donation, you help us, and it was enough to help a lot of people there, especially providing them blanket. We distributing several thousand blankets among refugees, and of course the food, medication, and going to front line. Once a month we try to go there. It's just a couple of miles to occupied areas, and every beginning at each 6 p.m. they start bombing, shooting there, and there are a lot of people, especially disabled people and elderly people, who are not able to leave their homes because they have no places to go and no ability to go. And we try to bring these people food and medicine as well. And try to do this before night. Try to do this in the daylight and live out this area.
How are your resources over there? Food, blankets, and all that? Is there any problem getting those things once you get the money to purchase them? I mean, is it a struggle to acquire those things over there in that region?
We actually we work. We the shoes, the food, medicine, and other stuff we try to help, try to buy in Ukraine because it's more easier to get it, and we have not big prices for that. But only we ask some people to help us with the shoes because it is very expensive in Ukraine, and our shoes is very low quality have. But this is what we ask people if they willing to send some stuff. We encourage them and advise them to send even shoes, because even your used shoes, they in a good shape, because you already everywhere driving, we're walking. So our shoes, they just they finished very soon. But even your used shoes, they good enough sharp, and it helps also.
Is it hard to get supplies in and out of the country?
We use Mist company. We use these boxes, and I mentioned that before that it's maybe 60-70 pounds each, and over 1 month it is shipping to Kyiv, or to all our refugee humanitarian centers. And by the way, all these humanitarian centers, we as a Let's Love, we very close cooperating with the local churches of Christ, because we provide them food, medicine, and church provides them a word of God. So we cooperate with each other. And right now, just last week, we have one another baptism, and we have very good news from our churches who cooperating with us in this ministry. For example, one church in Zaporozhye, it's somewhere for you. Last October, they got attendance just 12 people on Sunday. Right now, they've got 80 people. The another church in Poltava, the young married couple, Christian couple, they moved there just 7 months ago to do this refugee work with us there, and also the established church, Plain Church. And 7 months ago they had 0. Right now they constantly 30 people visit them. Another church in a little minor city, Dobropolye, in even minor village, Dobropolye in Donetsk region. Right now they're thinking about possibility to make their church building bigger, because have a big crowd of people. So the people right now, through all these struggles, they became open for God's word. This is what our main goal, through these humanitarian aids, humanitarian help, to reach them for God. And our another direction, we have the summer children camps for refugee children. As you saw, we last summer we had a good crowd of children during all 6 camp sessions, each of these sessions 14 days. And right now, just 2 weeks ago, we already opened a youth club, because a lot of children, they won't follow up after these camps, and they won't visit the church and have fun, to play games and to hear about God. So and the first open session today, I've got information, there were about 55 children who visited this youth club.
What about schooling? The schools, fully operational?
Full up.
Or schools, kids are going to school, and
Yes, yes, from especially refugee children, there are enough places right now in other cities for them. It's a big problem with kindergartens. There is no possibility for refugee people to give their child to kindergarten. That's what we faced with our family, this problem, and I know there are a lot of families face this problem, but the more important that schools are able to get all these children. And we also try to start work in public schools. In one school already approved our program. We have a special patriotical spiritual education program. I produced a book for this program, and we are starting a youth clubs on there in public schools. Through these schools, through patriotic education, we also trying to reach them for God.
I have another question. Do you have any government or the people who are in control of your area, do they come to your church gatherings and make problems for you? Do they accept the church, or do they make problems for the church?
In Ukraine, our government don't go to church, don't visit our churches, and they don't make problems. In occupied area, because there are some churches still meeting, Churches of Christ in Donetsk and other cities, their governments, they's giving them problems. For example, a lot of people, they are very against of everything non-orthodoxy, and some church buildings taken off by separatists in Donbass. I've heard last week 3 preachers was arrested by separatists in little minor city. Big crowd came to church building. They were very aggressive. They proclaimed that we don't want any sects be on our land, where Orthodoxy land. We don't want to be any American spy be here, because they believe that all non-Orthodoxy churches, like Protestant churches, they are your spies. So, and they make problems for them. They totally prohibited right now to go to street distributing literature, as we do right now in Kiev. Our church, before war in 2 months, we established a congregation in Donetsk. Then after war, we moved it to Kiev. Right now we go 2 or 3 days a week on the streets distributing literature, working with people. It's a free right now. It's a totally approved, but on occupied areas, it's prohibited. You may be shot for that.
How far are we talking between Donetsk and Kiev?
When we go to Lugansk, actually we more work with Lugansk region. We go to this front line. It's about maybe 12, 13 hours driving. Yes, it's about 800 kilometers. I'm not sure about the miles, but 800 kilometers from.
So there's a pretty big buffer between you and them, so you feel pretty safe where you're at?
Yes, it looks like. It's not like we had 1.5 years ago, because before that time, during all our independence from 1991, we never had any terroristic accident in Ukraine before. Never. During the 20 years, nobody bombed, nobody shot it even on the streets. We had a little bit in 1990s, 91, 92, when the people, some bandits did it, but other time we did not give. So right now, but anyway, in Kiev, in Kiev area and other areas, we feel not maybe even safety, but we feel free. This is more important right now. For example, people in Donetsk, a lot of them, they earn maybe $50 a month, maybe $60 a month. And bottle of shampoo costs $10. You can imagine what the difference between people make them and the prices there and the level of life.
What affiliation do you guys have with the Ukrainian Bible Institute?
Ukrainian Bible. I'm working there. I'm teaching the Bible, and I'm working as a dean of students. And UBI is so involved in our ministry. First, it allows me to be free with my schedule. Our director, J. Don Rogers, he allows me to, and he gives me a lot of free days to go to frontline, to go to somewhere. For example, he gave me over months to come here. Also, all our team members, Let's Love team members, they're either UBI graduates or UBI students. So they involved very much, a lot.
Is you guys based out of Mariupol or is it based out of?
Well, they had to move. Where are they located now?
We also moved to Kiev, and right now UBI operates in Kiev.
Does the occupied region stretch down to Mariupol or?
Church in Mariupol, they still doing good, and Mariupol is still Ukrainian area, and we also, with this church, we cooperating with refugee centers. They have a refugee center there, and so we help them a lot with all this stuff.
This church has an affiliation with the Church of Mariupol. We had sent missionaries there years back, and we're working with Tim Burrows while he was there, and we still work with Tim Burrows and support his efforts for schools and such. So.
Yeah, very good church. We were proud of them because they were also very active and very open for our cooperation for refugees.
Do you still live in fear that the Russians are going to move in more than where they are now?
Do you still, is there any fear that the Russians are going to try to continue their push through Ukraine?
Russia, the past 2 years, they unexpectable, and especially their president. We are ready for the forcing on Ukraine, and we're ready for every day. But right now, this person more interested on Syria, and just try and play there. But we don't know how long he will play there and how much he have resources to do this. But we feel if he ends there, he already again back to Ukrainian and will do something there. No. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention, for your involvement, for your prayers. We really appreciate it, and may God bless you. Thank you.